Happy New Year's everyone, and welcome to the first video on this channel in 2023. I hope you're looking forward to yet another year that's jam-packed with monster taming content, because let me just say there's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be releasing this year, and that's just stuff that's confirmed to be coming out in 2023. There's still some projects that I'm sure are shrouded in mystery and have not been revealed to the public just yet, so you can turn up the intensity a little bit on that end too. Anyways, as is a tradition on this channel, today on January 1st, 2023, we will be going through all of the major upcoming monster taming developments that will be occurring throughout the entire year. We're going to start things off by going in chronological order based on release dates or windows that have been publicly revealed. Then we're going to head into the stuff that just has 2023 listed as a release window, and then we'll finish things up with the games that I'm either expecting to hear a lot more from this year or that I'm hoping to. All that being said, make sure to sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Alright, so first things first, Lumentale, this beautiful 2.5D monster taming RPG, will be releasing its Kickstarter campaign on the 10th of January, which is 9 days from now. With what I'd consider a somewhat rocky year in the Kickstarter scene, especially for the monster taming genre, this is most definitely the first Kickstarter in quite some time that I'm actually hyped for. The developers creating this game are one and the same with those who made Pokemon Xenoverse, and given the fact that they're creating their own unique IP, I think it's safe to say that there's going to be a lot more freedom this time around. We'll also likely get a roadmap at that time for when the game is supposed to release and when alphas and betas and stuff like that are coming out, so I'm excited for that news as well. Sometime this month, we're supposed to be getting an update that's really going to create the framework for the mobile release of Coromon. This was revealed during the Monster Taming Direct, and while not an actual full release date, will bring forth a new build to the demo that will be more updated. For example, some of the early Coromon have changed drastically since the original build, like Bitty Bolt being available, so I know a lot of mobile fans have been patiently, and some impatiently, waiting for this, but it's coming, and the developers have been focusing on mobile release as their primary goal, and at least you'll have an update to look forward to. Another update we're getting this month is going to be the Alpha Part 1 for Kubberz, which was also revealed during the Monster Taming Direct last week, but essentially this will take what we had with the pre-alpha and ramp things up, adding new modes, new Kubberz, and improved battle. This is a real-time combat monster taming game, and I will oftentimes see people commenting about how they want more games like this, so please check it out. Give these developers some love, they definitely deserve it. On February 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, the second annual Digimon Con will be releasing, and while we don't have a whole lot of information as to what's going to be showcased, or if it's going to be similar to the first, I think it's pretty much a given that we'll be getting more information on the Switch and Steam ports for Digimon World Next Order, and I'm also hoping they'll give us more insight into these, quote, multiple games in the works that they had mentioned last year. There's also the new Digimon story title that's been in the works for a while, so I'm really hoping to see an initial reveal trailer for that as well. There's of course going to be news from all aspects of the franchise, but I'm specifically excited for the video game related ones. On February 22nd, we will see the release of Digimon World Next Order, as I just mentioned, which did actually release on PS4 back in 2016, but is making its way to the Switch and Steam on said date. I know this is just a port and just has a few added components, but I think it's reasonable to say that I and many others haven't played this just yet, and with the recent surge of Digimon's popularity in the West, I think it'll be a fun time regardless. March 6th, 2023 will mark the release date for Gorit, a puzzle-solving monster taming RPG inspired by games like Legend of Zelda, where you have essentially the ability to travel through and conquer various dungeons while avoiding and or defeating enemies in real-time combat. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the early access release date or the full access release date, but my guess is early access just based on what I've played with the demo. Speaking of which, we've got a couple of demos coming out in the first quarter of 2023, meaning that they'll come out at some point between January and March. The first being Summoner's Tale, a pretty unique side-scrolling monster taming platformer where you can obtain various companions to help you in battle while you hack and slash your enemies. The second is Monster Haven, which is a really cute-looking pixel art title where you can battle foes in 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or 3-on-3 combat right in the overworld, which I think is pretty cool. I'm definitely intrigued by these games and looking forward to learning more about them and their unique attributes. Moving into the second quarter of the year, which encompasses April to June, we have the release of the Abominations and Disc Creatures crossover free DLC update for Abomination, which, just as it sounds, will bring forth some monsters from both Disc Creatures and the upcoming sequel, Disc Creatures World, into Abomination for use in game. Personally, I think a lot more developers should do this, and Abomination, I believe, was in part able to achieve these types of crossovers, both with Bug Fables and Disc Creatures, due to the fact that all of these games share the same publisher, so if that's something that makes these types of crossovers easier. I know Freedom Games has a couple monster taming games under its belt, same with Top Hat Studios and some others, so get these crossovers done, guys. There's really no massive downside to doing something like this, and just hypes up your games, gets the fan bases excited, and it's more advertising. In June, Eternal Exodus, a Shin Megami Tensei inspired RPG that was initially slated for release last year, will be releasing this year on PS4, Xbox One, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. I'm really liking to see that we're getting a lot more Shin Megami Tensei inspired games to sort of act as a parallel to the Pokemon inspired one, so definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Next up, we enter the third quarter of the year, which encompasses July, August, and September, where we have a couple of games that aren't really my cup of tea, but that's just based on my own personal preference. The first is Critter Crops, a really cute looking monster taming and farming title, and the second being an open demo for Battle Gem Ponies, a monster taming title inspired by the My Little Pony franchise. And honestly, putting the theme aside, it actually looks really good in terms of its pixel art and gameplay. This one's slated for late summer, and the former just has Q3 listed. Over to the fourth quarter of next year, which encompasses October, November, and December, we're likely going to get some sort of Pokemon DLC. I don't think that would be a surprise. The Sword and Shield one released in October, so perhaps something similar. We also have what I'm assuming is the early access release of Kubberz, which was the game we mentioned at the beginning of this video, which is slated for December 1st. And finally, the release of Anode Heart. I'm not sure if this is going to be early access or full launch, but that's slated for, and I quote, the end of the year. And this is a game that I do actually have a video planned showcasing for you guys, so stay tuned. So that's it for content we have a specific date for. However, believe it or not, that's actually the minority of content we're going to be discussing today, because there's even more stuff that's planned for this year that just has 2023 listed, and I'm going to discuss it all now. So in no particular order, other than the fact that I just started writing these down from memory before I went through my Monster Tamer news list and checked every single game Steam page and such. But we have Cassette Beasts, a title that I'm very excited for personally. I think this game will really mix up the genre in many ways with its unique combat, amazing pixel art, open world premise, etc. We also have Palworld, which is releasing, and I'm sure it's a title most of you have heard about, or at least seen referred to as Pokemon Gun version. And let me just say, I do find the entire premise of this game to be quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it actually plays. The Skyclimbers early access is supposed to release at some point this year, which for Skyclimbers is sort of like a big release since they're planning on adding content for a very long time after this. The SkyCon was also delayed from last year, so that's going to happen as well. No date for that just yet. The Kindred Fates beta is at some point supposed to be dropping, which will be an expansion to its already available alpha. We've got the mobile release of Coromon, which will be coming out this year unless a meteor hits Dragsoft. Monster Sanctuary will be releasing its Relic update at some point, which was confirmed during the Monster Taming Direct. We will be getting a story demo for Druggiemon, which will build upon the current alpha build. Monster Tribe, a resource management monster taming RPG that was slated for release last year, has been delayed to some point in 2023. It's basically an open world adventure with grid-based combat. Evocreo 2 is supposed to come out at some point this year, but there was also a beta that was supposed to come out during winter 2022, which never came to fruition, and we haven't gotten any public gameplay for the game. It's been delayed multiple times at this point, so I'm honestly not holding my breath, though the original looks pretty cool, so I can't say I'm not looking forward to it. Tales of Tanorio, a Pokemon fan game turned into a unique monster taming RPG on the ROBLOX engine, is supposed to be coming out at some point this year. If you've played Lumion Legacy or Doodle World, it's sort of in that camp. Magica, a monster taming and farming game that actually recently released their closed backer preview, which I do got to put together a video for, will be releasing this year as well. Creature Keeper, which is an action combat pixel art monster taming title, also has a 2023 slated release window. Adore has announced that its full access is coming soon and that it's coming to consoles including PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and of course Steam. A game that made its debut on the Monster Taming Direct, Seekers of Sahul, if I pronounce that correctly, will be having a demo of its own at some point this year. This actually looks pretty interesting. I love the ancient Egyptian theme that they're going for. Dokimon and subsequently Mon Tamer Maker, which if you don't know is essentially an RPG equivalent for monster taming games, is also set to have its full release this year. Dokimon's essentially a game that's going to be created in-engine bundled with it. And finally, Necromancer's Gift was actually supposed to release December 2022, and we were actually supposed to have a Necromancer's Gift submission for the Direct, but the dev has kind of gone silent, and I don't say this to call him out or anything like that. I've spoken with him many times. He seems like a genuinely good person, and I'm actually concerned for them. So if anyone has heard from the developer of this game, please let me know, because I've gone around to various Discord servers that we have in common and I can't find any recent messages from them. So Leo, if you are watching this, just shoot me a message on Discord just to tell me you're doing all right. Anyways, finally, last but not least, we're going to go through some games that I suspect we'll hear more from this year, and some of them that I'm at least hoping to. First of all, Nexomon 3, or whatever they plan on calling it, is currently in development. While I do understand that the developers have been releasing games every 3 years consistently since Micromon in 2014, I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen this year, but I definitely think we'll be getting some sort of reveal for the game, and I'm really excited for that. Also, I don't think this is coming out this year, but I definitely am expecting some more information on Digital Tamers 2 and Digimon Story Shadow Over the Past, which are both fan games that were revealed during the Monster Taming Direct and are being developed by Dragonrod. Honestly, these games have me more excited than a lot of the official Digimon stuff. The Monster Sanctuary developers are also working on some sort of successor title that's supposed to be a top-down roguelike with 3v3 combat. Given the fact that their current game looks and plays as good as it does, I'm definitely looking forward to anything they're putting out. And finally, I'm hoping, and this is kind of up in the air, but some sort of SMT-related content, whether it be some sort of reveal for Shin Megami Tensei 6 or some sort of monster taming-focused spin-off. And not to mention Doki V. They kind of went silent, but I really hope we get something related to that. But yeah, all that being said, make sure to let me know in the comment section which developments you think are the most exciting for this year and what you want to see in general. Sure, there's a lot of games here, but there's even more titles that don't have concrete release dates or have kind of been quiet, so I'm sure there's a ton of room for even more content this year, and I'm excited to see what 2023 brings forth. I've been making monster taming content at this point for over 3 years, and now we're entering our 4th year on the channel, and I look forward to continuing to serve as your one-stop shop for all things monster taming. I definitely want to do some more experimentation, focus on some more older titles like we've been doing with our Let's Try series, where we basically dip our toes into different experiences from the past. I'm looking forward to also pushing the genre even further and trying to collaborate with more creators that exist within the different subsects of the genre. And I'm most excited for the next Monster Taming Direct. Not sure if that's going to be the summer or the winter, but given how much you guys loved the one that just took place, I can't not continue it. All of that being said, if you do want to stay up to date on the genre, I put out new videos every single day, so definitely consider subscribing. You can check out my Twitter, my Discord, and Patreon, all links below. Special thanks to the patrons, especially Jim Hamilton, Drogo, Dark Persona, and Exodus, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.